Welcome to the Bread of Life. Now, what I would like to do is I'm going to start this four-part series called Don't Make People Your God. So it's going to be a four-part series of just talking about why you don't make people your God, or the dangers of when you make people your God instead of trusting and not trusting God more than you trust people. So I want to start that, and the first thing I want to start talking about as we begin this four-part series is, why do we trust people more than we trust God? Now, truth be told, the reason we really begin to trust people more than we trust God is because the pressures of life. I mean, it just sum it up. That's what goes on. You have different financial situations, health issues, stuff comes up to where we now begin to trust people more than we trust God. And it's very easy to do that. So don't let me, I want you to think that I'm just coming down on nobody. No, it's very easy to do that. You have somebody that you ask them to help you out, they help you out, and you begin to depend upon that because it's easy to do so. And then you begin to dip in the well, continue to get help. And now you begin to, instead of just getting help to get out of the situation, now you become dependent upon this person to continue to help you, or more so really to continue to sustain you in certain situations. And see, the danger in that is that now you're dependent upon this person to sustain you instead of you dependent upon God to sustain you. And what you've done, you've taken this person here and you put them into a place that only God should be in that place. And see, man will fail you every single time. And so when this person doesn't come through, or these people don't come through like you thought they should, now you feel a certain type of way. You feel frustrated, you feel upset, and then you begin to get offended by these people because they didn't do what you thought they should do, or they didn't show up like you thought they should show up, or the person didn't do what you thought they should do, or the person didn't show up like you thought they should show up. But like I said, it's very easy to depend upon people more than it is to depend upon God, because we get hit with so much. This society is a certain way, and things constantly going on, people losing jobs, and so it's easy to do. But my thing is, what I'm trying to get across to you guys is, we can't depend upon people more than we depend upon God. And I want to go to scripture, and I want to show you why. So we're going to look at John chapter 16 and look at verse 33. And I'm going to read everything today from the Amplified. And it says, I have told you these things so that in me you might have perfect peace. Now this is Jesus talking. He said, hey, I've given you all this information. I've given you all these things to live by, how to live, what to do, when to do, how you pray. I've given you all of this so that in me you might have perfect peace. So that in me, when all the trials and tribulations are going on, you still have peace. That in me, you know what to do, so you have peace and you don't lose your mind when all this is going on. In the world, you have tribulation, and distress, and suffering. He said, hey, you're going to go through stuff in this world. I'm telling you right now, you're going to deal with stuff. You're going to deal with financial issues. You're going to deal with health issues. You're going to deal with family issues. You're going to deal with some stuff in this world. You're going to suffer some stuff in this world. You're going to have some distress in this world. He said, but the thing is, going back to the first part, in me, I've given you all of this so that in me you might have perfect peace in the midst of the trial, in the midst of the distress, in the midst of the suffering. I still want you to have peace because my peace, or the peace, is in me. So in order to have your peace, it's got to be through God or through Jesus to have perfect peace. He said, but be courageous, be confident, be undaunted. Now, he's saying that in the midst of all these trials, in the midst of all these circumstances, in the midst of all the distress, be confident, be courageous, and be undaunted, which means be unmoved. Be stuck still. I see the trial going on. I feel the tribulation hitting me. I see the distress that's going on. But in the midst of all that, I have perfect peace in God. The peace that surpasses all understanding I have in Jesus. So I'm unmoved by what it looks like. I'm unmoved by what it feels like. I'm unmoved by what anybody else tells me, because in Him I have perfect peace in the midst of this trial, the tribulation, or storm. In the last part of that, he says, be filled with joy. Now, That sounds crazy to you. When I got all this hell breaking loose in my house, I got all this hell breaking loose in my finances, and you want me to be filled with joy. But see, in Jesus, when you have the perfect peace that surpasses all understanding, it don't matter the trial or tribulation, it don't matter the situation or circumstance, you can still be filled with joy in the midst of everything that's going on. Because I know that in him everything is going to be all right. And the last part is, I have overcome the world. My conquest is accomplished. My victory about it. He says, so I want you to have the perfect peace, because you need to understand that this victory is already yours. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what it feels like. I don't care what anybody else has told you. In me, your victory is already accomplished. In me, you've already had the victory. So what I want you to understand is, when we begin to trust people more than God, we got to understand that in Jesus, our victory has already been accomplished. In Jesus, we already have the victory. So though the situation may look like, though the circumstance may feel like, though this situation is astronomical and it seems like it's just going to take us out, we got to understand that in Jesus, we have the victory. And if we have the victory in Jesus, I cannot be moved by what it looks like. I can't begin to trust a man more than I trust God, because see, a man will always fail you. A man is going to bring disappointment, frustration, and is going to bring offense. But Jesus is going to bring victory and peace and joy every single time. So I got to begin to trust him more than I trust a man. And I want to give you one more scripture, and this is going to be it. And it's going to be John 10:10. I'm also going to read this one from the Amplified as well. It says, the thief comes only in order to steal, kill, and destroy. I just want to amplify this point. The thief, which is the enemy, he's coming to create chaos, confusion. Well, basically, let me break it down this way. He's coming in order to steal your dreams, kill your ambitions, and destroy any hopes you have of living a godly life. Let me just be real with you. That's what he's coming to do. The chaos, the confusion, the tribulation, the trial. He's coming to just basically cause chaos in your life so you don't live a godly life. He said, but Jesus said, but I have come that you may have and enjoy life. That you may have life, and not just have life, but enjoy life. And how do you enjoy it? You enjoy it through him. And have it in abundance to the full till it overflows. He said, now have it in the abundance, in the full till it overflows. I want you to have so much life. I want you to enjoy life so much that you get so full of it that it begins to overflow up out of you. But see, here's the thing. The only way that you can really truly enjoy life and have it to the full and have the peace and the joy is through Jesus himself. If you're not living through Jesus, if you're not living through him, and you trust in a man more than you trusting in God, you're not going to have that peace or that joy that we're talking about here. You're going to constantly have chaos, confusion. You're going to have offense. You're going to be mad because man is going to let you down 99.9% of the time. Jesus is going to be there, and Jesus is going to come through 100% of the time. I'm just being honest. Let's be real. And it's not that man doesn't want to help you, but we're all human. I mean, just let's be real. We're all human. So you can't put confidence or trust in a man, but put your confidence and trust in God. Put your confidence and trust in Jesus, who will always come through, who's going to help you have peace in the midst of the storm, who's going to help you have joy in the midst of the storm. And not just that, but who is going to help you to not just have life, but enjoy life to the full till it overflows. So my encouragement to you today, begin to trust God than you trust God more than you trust man. Begin to put your confidence more in Jesus than you put confidence in man. And when you see situations and trials and circumstances come up, don't get moved by what it looks like. Don't begin to try to reach out. I mean, don't get me wrong. Everybody needs help. But when you reach out to folks, don't reach out and begin to depend on. Reach out, get help if you need help. But then after that, cut it off. Put more confidence in Jesus than you put in a man. And that's what I want you to get from this. Put more confidence in Jesus than you put in any type of man. So I hope this was encouraging to you. I hope it's something that you begin to do and begin to make adjustments in your life. And as always, we end with our foundational scripture, which is Matthew 4:4. And Jesus said, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceed out of the mouth of God. We love you guys, and you be blessed.